If you're in the market for buying a new controller, whether it be an Xbox, PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 5 controller, One Off Controllers is your one-stop shop. With the recent launch of this new company, they offer for real the most customizable controllers you can buy online. From being able to customize basically every single button on your controller, changing the color and texture of the grips, adding additional buttons to the back of your controller, and actually being able to design and upload your own PSD files to make your faceplate look however you want. Check out oneoffcontrollers.com and don't forget to use code ZACH22 at checkout for 10% off your order and to support your boys. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to one of our subscriber analysis here on the channel, where if you're a subscriber to my Twitch or a member on my YouTube channel or a patron on Patreon, links for all of those in the description. But if you're any of those, you can submit a replay analysis to my sub-only analysis channel in my Discord. We also do free analysis. If you're interested in that, read the description down below, all the details are there. But the sub analysis get done before the free analysis, obviously, because you guys are supporting me to be able to continue making content and to upgrade gear and whatnot to make better content in the future by supporting me with financial assistance. So I'm gonna obviously let you guys skip the line and do your analysis first. But today we've got a Champ 3 2v2 analysis for a person named Bash. 300 on the dash. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Anyways, I'm super hyped to get this going. He's playing 2v2, Champ 3 rank. Let's get into it. Checking out his cool Nike decal on his Octane. It is a nice decal. Alright, right away, cheating up on kickoff. Goes for the demo. Really nice attempt on going for the demo there. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Unfortunate, he flips at the perfect time to dodge your demo. Good attempt, though. Really good attempt. Yes, so far so good. Nice job. Ooh, okay. Yeah, good try, good try. I like this. Well done. So far so good, my man. Now that could have, if you just had slightly better ball control here, this definitely could have been a goal off this catch. The thing that makes this flick happen like this, I just want to point out, is the fact that you are trying to flick it as the ball is bouncing. You can't really flick the ball while it's bouncing too well on the center of your car like this. Bam. If you would have let that ball settle on the top of your car just slightly more. Bam. If you flick it now while it's still in the air, or catch the ball and then flick it. You can't really flick the ball too well when it is just hitting the top of your car. So, I mean, you'll get better at that over time. That's definitely gonna happen. Just a mechanical mistake. Those will iron out in time. Let me see this one more time. I mean, this is an aggressive attempt here. What I don't like about this, if I go back slightly, or what you should think about here. Are you solo queue? You are solo queue. So what are the options here? The options here, give yourself a second, maybe pause the video. Think about what are the options here. What could possibly happen? One, this player goes up and meets the ball at about this area and gets the deflection. Doesn't give you the opening for the shot in the first place. Two, your teammate actually trails the ball as it falls down and tries to score it himself. Three, the ball keeps falling and your teammate goes for the bump, in which case you've got an open shot. Or four, your teammate trails the ball as it comes down and tries to get behind it to pop it out towards you to have a more open shot. So in 3 of 4 of those plays, either your teammate's going to have another touch or your opponent's going to have a touch. You're not going to have a shot. So it's just it's a dangerous ball to dive at because you've only got a 25% chance of this being the right play. We highlighted 4 different options that are probably what's going to happen here. Either he deflects the ball before it's even possible to score it, your teammate goes for the shot himself, in which case you don't need to go for the shot, you're just double committing at that time. Your teammate goes for the bump, that's your opportunity to shoot at this point in time, or your teammate goes for a pass, In which case, if you are going for the shot, when he goes for the pass, he's outplaying you, unfortunately. He's going to be hitting the ball past you. So you got to recognize, and again, this is kind of just a experience thing. There's no way you can think about all this in the moment, but just recognize, going forward, you're going to build this memory. You're going to build this idea in your head of all the possible outcomes. And eventually, this is what's beautiful of Rocket League. It's just a beautiful game. The way that getting better works, it's really just about playing and building experiences, and then those experiences just become second nature, and you don't even have to think about it. You just know if it's a good, or if it's worth going for or not worth going for, just off of your experience. So not really something you can think about in the moment, but eventually you'll realize, okay, there's more bad that can come from this than good. If I just wait, my teammate either is gonna give me a free net and then I can score, or I'm going to be rewarded by waiting, by not getting counterattacked, by going and not scoring. Because if you dive here, obviously, if you dive here and you don't score, you're both somewhere in this vicinity, you and your teammate. Your opponent's here, the ball probably bounces off the backboard, and one of those two opponents is going to have a free net behind you. So just be careful about committing very hard to a ball where if you don't score, you're probably going to get counterattacked, which in this case, again, notice you're both now pretty much in their net and the ball didn't go in. So that pretty much means your opponents have an open net downfield that they can get it moving fast enough. Now, thankfully, it doesn't look like they could, but that was a pretty dangerous ball to go for before you knew what was actually going to happen there. Go back a little bit. Okay. Let me go back one more time. Rewinding a lot right now. Sorry about that. I was thinking about saying you should challenge this. It's hard to say. This is Champ 3. Your teammate might do something stupid here and not focus on getting back. But if your teammate gets back here like he should, then by the time this ball bounces off of your back corner wall, as we're going to see going forward, he should be behind you. So let's go ahead and watch. This is Champ 3 again. The speed, the recovery speed, or the decision making might not be there at this level for your teammate to be back in this position. But, you know, at a higher level, watching this, bam, that challenge happens. And by the time you can challenge this now, your teammate should have had enough time to be behind you. Let's see where he is at, though. Okay, he hasn't even begun to recover yet from that play. Let's watch this. So, bam. It should be speed flipping over this path of pads. That's not a speed flip. Should probably be about right here. And if you would have challenged that and gotten the 50-50, right, coming in and challenged this ball, your teammate should be about here at this point in time. And if this ball gets past you somehow, he should be there in time to clear it. So I don't hate, especially at this level of play, I don't hate that you took your time here and didn't challenge here. It's just that once you don't challenge, then this is why you find yourself in this position, staring down a possible shot on target here, where you're in a pretty bad position to save it. You're in a pretty awkward position to save it. If that goes across the net, you have no possibility, you have no momentum to be able to save something off to your right here. And that situation is avoided by challenging earlier, because at this point in time, you should have your teammate behind you ready to follow up any outcome on the challenge. So I would say you should challenge this. I'm going to go ahead and say challenge this in the future. If you are in a position where your teammate should be behind you by now, then you want to challenge. Because if your teammate's behind you and you don't challenge, that's when you get backed up on your goal line, staring down the follow-up shot from your opponent. Good save by your teammate there, though. You've also been a little shaky on your own recoveries. Noticed after that shot that you went for that we were talking about was dangerous, your recovery wasn't the cleanest. And then also when you were in net shortly after that, you were doing a lot of backflipping, and then here you're backflipping a lot, and it's really messing up your recoveries a lot in this replay so far. Three times now you've backflipped unnecessarily, maybe thinking it's speeding up your recovery or hoping that it will speed up your recovery. But you're slightly off the mark on your recovery. That would work on smoothing out some of these recoveries, working on your car mechanics, your car control, maybe spending some time in free play, just flipping around the field, moving as fast as you can, recovering from awkward positions. Maybe workshop maps will help your car control a little bit. Workshop maps aren't really great for recovery mechanics, so that might not be the play. Maybe 1v1s, as much as nobody likes to hear that they should play more 1v1s, that would be a really good way to improve your recovery mechanics. But your recoveries aren't looking super clean yet, for sure. And at Champ 3, I'm not going to lie, a lot of people have really smooth recovery mechanics by Champ 3. So that might be something you need to work on going forward. Were you going for a demo here? I think you're going for a demo there. Unfortunately, just don't connect. Not a terrible idea to go for the demo. Dang. What a shot. Good try. Really close, honestly. Don't have too much to say about that. Okay. Alright. Not the smoothest execution here. What are you thinking here? Let me see this. So what I think I want to see you do here is get closer to the ball, because the possibilities here that you're worried about are that he stays on the ball and challenges it up in this direction some way. Or he doesn't challenge, he backs away like he does, and the ball comes up the wall like this. So if you actually just position here, you cover both options. If the ball comes up for free and he doesn't challenge, bam, you've got the positioning to make an aerial play. Got the position to go for a flip reset. That's a good offensive play in this position usually. Go for the flip reset, or maybe go for an air dribble. You might, in this position, be able to pop it back down to the ground and go for a ground play. It might be a little difficult with how high in the air, or how high this ball is going to be on the sidewall, and also how glued to the sidewall it's going to be. It might be hard to chip this down to the ground here in this position. But again, by positioning close to the wall here, you're covering the option where he tries to force it this way. You're blocking his path out of his corner. And you're also positioning where you can take control of the ball if he doesn't challenge. But this positioning here that you go for, not really covering either option. Right, the ball goes up the wall, and now you're not able to make a play on it. You're giving him too much time and space to be able to come and challenge before you can beat him. Bam. Ball comes up. You should be driving underneath the ball, taking it up the wall, going for a flip reset, going for maybe a ceiling shot. He is going to have a lot of your offensive plays in the air well defended from this position. But going for a flip reset or going for a ceiling shot or going for an air dribble and then maybe just positioning for a 50-50 in the air, right? Get ready to just block whatever touch he tries to make. You've got the boost advantage. You've got a lot of boost. So you've got a lot of options here on offense. And let's see if you could have chipped this down to the ground had you stayed close to the ball here. Do you have the opportunity to chip it down to the ground? Bam, we're close to the ball. I know I really don't see an opportunity here to chip it down to the ground, honestly. I don't see an opportunity. So the play is going to be an aerial play there. And obviously I'm calling all this in hindsight, but the initial thing, right? Rocket League is all about putting yourself in the right positions, doing the right thing in the moment, which puts you in a good position to capitalize in the future. So good positioning here would have been getting closer to the wall where you are challenging, where you're putting yourself in a position to block his next touch or to capitalize if he doesn't go for a touch. And that's what that positioning we talked about would have done for you. You'd be in a position to either block his touch or to take the ball if he doesn't go for the touch. Ooh, look at you. Look at you. The reverse half flip. A little cool, also a little unnecessary if you think about it. Because if you just front flip towards this boost like you normally could, a front flip here and then veering off in this direction actually puts you perfectly on trajectory to land on the wall and then have the touch on the ball, you know, upwards up the wall when you get really comfortable and when you get really good ball control, or just, you know, chipping it back down and following it up. But I mean, hey, this was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a good move. Can possibly put you in a good position to counterattack quickly. Wasn't bad, honestly, but also just recognize the front flip here. Bam, the front flip, then driving up the wall is the more common play you'll see here, right? Front flip, you land up here, ball comes this way. You can either dribble it, air dribble it out. You know, that's how you see those pros and those TikTokers hit all their fancy clips. That's exactly in this position. They do this, ball comes up here, air dribble into twist flip, sends the ball this direction. You land your flip reset here and you do whatever you want to do. That's how you find yourself in that position. Probably is not going to be what you're going to be doing, but the alternative, ball comes in this direction, you just force it out of your corner in this direction, easy peasy. So, you know, your play isn't bad. Situational, could catch opponents off guard sometimes. Good try. Not a bad try, setting up your teammate there. Nice. While you did lose the 50, that was still a good play. You control it off of your back wall, get it past the first player, and then recognizing that you're first man and he's second man, this is a good 50-50 for you to take, because if he loses the 50-50, he's last man. There's nobody behind him. It's an open net. And if you lose the challenge, you're fine because you still got a teammate behind you. So that's a good challenge to force there. You being first man and him being second man, always a good challenge to force. Unfortunately, your teammate can't get the touch off the backboard here. That's a good touch by the orange team as well, to be fair. But that was a good challenge by you. You didn't do anything wrong there. Okay. Definitely don't want to see you jumping off the wall here. What I want to see here, does anyone know? What do you guys think I want to see here? And what do you guys think is the reason I don't want to see you jump off the wall here? Think about that. Okay. Our options here. Now that you've thought about that. What do we know this guy wants to do? Right. What do we know this guy wants? He just got a full boost in midfield. Ball's in a perfect air dribble flip reset training pack setup. It's gonna roll off, and this guy's like, man, I got a perfect setup here to go for an aerial play. He's gonna go for a ceiling shot. He's gonna go for a flip reset. He's gonna go for an air dribble. He's gonna go for some sort of aerial play, most likely. So what we want to do is we want to get into his head. We want to try to get him to throw away the ball, actually. And what we're gonna do to get him to do that is fake a ceiling challenge. Fake the ceiling challenge. Even at Champ 3, if nobody's ceiling challenges, I'm not sure. If people don't ceiling challenge in Champ 3, this could actually just be a real challenge. If you know your opponent's going to take it up in the air close to the ceiling to make an aerial play. Now, this might sound like bad advice, telling you to go for a ceiling challenge. But if people aren't expecting the ceiling challenge, it's actually going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty effective. But what I was initially going to say is just fake the ceiling challenge, right? If you start driving up this direction, bam, drive onto the ceiling for a moment, just a moment, he's going to be like, oh, he's going for a ceiling challenge. So you know what? If I go for an aerial play, I'm going to get freaking dunked. So he's either just going to hit this ball very quickly, prematurely, and just give it away, which is what you want. You want him to know that you want him to feel like he doesn't have the time and space to go for a play. So he's going to throw it away, in which case one of you guys collects the free ball. So you're driving up, driving on the ceiling temporarily, and zooming back, right? You'll stick to the ceiling. If you don't come out far enough, if you don't come out too far, the momentum you have, you'll drive up and you'll drive back down without ever leaving the wall. So you might want to practice that in free play, right? Drive up the wall, drive out a little bit as though you're going to ceiling challenge, and you're just turning back. And that's going to, again, he's going to see that. If in Champ 3, people ceiling challenge sometimes, he's going to be looking to see what you're doing as he drives up here. And as he sees you challenge on the ceiling, he's going to throw away the ball prematurely in a lot of cases, which is exactly what you want. But as I was saying, if people don't ceiling challenge in Champ 3, and he isn't watching for that, you could actually completely just catch him off guard with the ceiling challenge, and that touch right there is going to be a free clear for you. You bam, and bam. You're just reading that, you're reading him, and you're challenging it right there, and you're dunking him. So that's a you call. If you are used to people ceiling challenging in Champ 3, then you'll probably just want to fake it. Because that means if he's used to people ceiling challenging in Champ 3, that means he's going to be looking for it. And if he's looking for the ceiling challenge, that means a fake challenge is going to work well. But if he's not expecting it, that means a real ceiling challenge is going to work well. I hope you see what I'm saying. And then the reason I don't want to see you jump off the wall here, trying to challenge too early, is that you have no idea at this point in time. Let's go back. You jumped before it even hit the ceiling. You don't even know what his setup touch is going to be like yet. You jump at this point in time. You have no clue that he's about to mess up this challenge, or mess up this setup, my bad. And the ball is going to deflect right down towards the ground. In which case, you've beaten yourself because you're flying off in this direction. You're trying to meet the ball somewhere here. That's like a perfect scenario that you actually meet the ball here. You have no clue if his setup's going to go that way, if it's going to go this way, if it's going to go that way, if it's going to go this way. You got no clue. If it's going to go straight towards your backboard, if I can draw 3D, you've got no idea where this ball is going to go yet. So you're essentially pre-jumping. And pre-jumping is no bueno. No bueno if you're actually, for the most part, pre-jumping usually doesn't work. Pre-jumping gets you punished more often than it doesn't. So what you're doing here is actually pre-jumping, whether you realize it or not. What you would want to do here, I'm going to detach from your car. Pretend like I'm you in this position. If you didn't fake ceiling challenge, like I was saying, then you'd want to just stay on the back wall here. And if he makes an aerial play, you are staying at a similar level of height as his aerial play. And you challenge when you know where he's trying to go. You challenge when you can, right? Say he gets the reset here. You challenge when the ball is as close as it can be to you. So that way you have the least opportunity of missing the challenge. And you also give yourself the most amount of time for his options to become limited. Right? The closer he gets to the net, the longer he's in the air, the more he's showing you his hand, the more he is showing you what he's trying to do, and his options become more and more limited the longer he's in the air, using boost, getting closer to the ground, getting closer to your net, to the backboard. The longer you can wait him out in that position, right? Say we're here, he goes, he gets the reset right here, right? Right at this point in time, the ball's about right here. He's getting that reset. We're on the backboard here, facing off in this direction. Okay, now we can jump off because we know he's got his reset here. He's falling down in this direction. The ball's falling down in this direction. We challenge pretty much right where the ball is at. And the only thing that can possibly beat us is if he uses the reset to get the ball over us, in which case our teammate has the next touch. Ooh, nice. Uh-oh. Messed up the kickoff there. Let me go back. Yeah, our mechanics have looked a bit off this game. Might need to improve that car control. Nice. Tech with the 1v1. Can't make it happen. Also, yourself needing to work on your mechanics a bit. Again, it just comes with recognition. Because the thing is here, it just comes with time, with practice. You got to play more. That's all it is. Because with this touch here, your options are, this is not a bad setup. It's not a bad, you did a very good job slowing down very slow to get a soft touch on the ball so it doesn't just bounce off the wall and out towards midfield. You can also do a diagonal flip into the ball. That's really good at keeping the ball grounded and without any sort of bounces. If you jump up and diagonal flip the ball in this direction, it means you got to do a little bit more work after you land to get yourself back, straight facing the ball. It is going to be a slightly, it's going to take a slight bit more mechanical execution. But you can diagonal flip. When you diagonal flip into a ball that's rolling across the ground flat, it tends to, in most cases, keep the ball flat on the ground. You can practice that in free play. Roll the ball flat on the ground in a position like this, and then try just driving straight into it, where you'll pop it. You'll notice you're going to pop the ball, versus doing a diagonal flip into the ball. You'll notice it stays flat to the ground. And that's what you want here. You want the ball to stay flat to the ground. So once it hits the wall, it doesn't leave the wall like it does here. And that's what messes you up. And what you need to recognize is when there's any sort of bounce on the ball like this as it heads towards the wall, which there's that slight bounce as it approaches the wall, means it is not going to perfectly stick to the wall like you want it to. It is going to roll off of the wall. So you need to know that, recognize that, and recognize that you need to jump at the ball. You need to jump at the ball to get your first touch here, because this is still a aerial play available setup, if that makes sense, what I'm trying to say. But it would come with recognizing that that ball is going to roll off, and you have to jump at the ball to get your first touch, underneath the ball, at the ball, underneath the ball to get your first touch. Similar thing here. You could have done the same thing here to put yourself in a position where you can possibly have another challenge on Twitch. Because this touch here, you're flipping, right? You're still in the middle of flipping as that ball is traveling towards the wall, which means Twitch Zoo FPS, that's his name. I'm gonna call him Zoo. Zoo is gonna be able to get to this ball before you can, because you're still landing from your flip, right? Bam. Zoo's waiting, he's waiting. Bam, you're flipping. You've committed to hitting this into the wall, and now, until then, you can't do anything. You just finished your flip. So in all that amount of time, Zoo was able to read your touch, position for it. Let's watch it from his perspective. He's waiting. Bam, sees that touch, and all that time he knows you can't get back to the ball. So what does he do? He positions for it, and he beats you to the ball. Whereas you can give yourself the opportunity to actually have the next touch here by, as I just explained in the previous play, use that diagonal flip to keep the ball glued to the ground. Right? You're jumping up and diagonal flipping the ball towards the ground, keeping it glued to the ground. And what's beautiful about that is your car is going to follow that same path of momentum. Sorry, my throat's a bit scratchy and itchy. But you're jumping up and you're pushing the ball with a diagonal flip, and your car is going to follow that same momentum. So as the ball comes up the wall, your car is following it perfectly as well. And if Zoo is able to get to this challenge and challenge you, at least you're getting a 50-50 on the ball. Again, as first man on their second man. There's a chance he isn't able to get there on time and he doesn't even challenge. But this is a better option, right? So maybe work on those diagonal flips into the ball that keep it glued to the ground and keep your car's momentum in line with the ball so that you can follow it up again. Because now that's 2 times where that would have been a useful mechanic, if you want to call it, that could have given you better plays. Again, seeing your recoveries be a little lackluster. Hold and drift here, a little too long. Not too much to say about those. I'm not going to sit here and explain, oh, you need to press this button at this point in time and this point in time, and then bam, your recovery would have been better. Like, no, you don't do these replay analysis trying to coach people through mechanics. That's not the point. Try to improve your game sense, expand your awareness of what you could have done in certain situations, what you should or shouldn't do in certain situations. I'm not here to be a mechanical coach, but that is definitely something you need to work on, is your recovery mechanics. Go back one more time. Might have something to point out here. Nah, you know what? There's not. Alright, 1v1. Let's see what we got. Oh, the power slide cut! Good try. Somebody's been paying attention to the Flakes videos. Good try. The only thing you gotta do here is just change that direction, right? You're right in line. You're right. Look at. You're shooting it right at him. All you gotta do is get off to the side and have an air roll shot towards this direction. That might have been a goal. You just can't shoot right at your opponent. That was the last little piece of spice on this play. That's all you needed, a little bit of extra spice, and you would have had this goal. Good try though. And obviously you could have also kept the ball on your hood for a flick as well. I think was the initial plan. I think the initial plan here should be to just keep it on your hood for a flick. I think that's the most immediately threatening play. Ideally, you kept this ball on your hood and then you're going for a 45-degree flick as you get closer to the net. But once you drop it, this is a good play. Once you've dropped the ball, this is a good play to default into. This is your backup plan after you've dropped the ball. You cut it to the side. You threaten the power slide cut. After he doesn't fall for the power slide cut, all you need is the little bit of direction change here on the ball. Shoot to the left side. Probably wouldn't have been a goal. Good try, though. Good try. Okay, what's the issue here? I'm gonna play it back one more time. Ask you what the issue is here. Everyone watching. All right, who caught it? Who caught what the issue was? Now you might be thinking I'm talking about this first touch. You might be thinking I'm talking about that. Now, while that's not a good touch, that's not what I'm talking about here. The mistake here is seeing your teammate flying forwards downfield, carrying his momentum towards your opponent's half to hit this ball. He's just passed the ball to this opponent. He's flying in this direction. And what do? You flip forward, right? Your teammate's still flying in this direction. Now you're flying in this direction. And your opponent's about to have the touch going back the opposite direction. So who's on defense? Who's back there? Nobody. Your teammate's landing up here. You're landing up here. Nobody's behind you. Except the ball that's about to be behind you. Fortunately, your teammate gets a lucky touch to stop it. But the mistake there is seeing your teammates flying forward. Your opponent's back, ready to deal with that touch, and you flip forward. So you're just flipping forward at a really bad time. You're flipping forward when the ball's about to get sent right back to your half with nobody behind you. Hey, good finish. You got time. You guys got time. This is good. You got them awkward with that bump. Hey, we take that. 1v1, 1v2. Oh! That was so close. Good effort. Yeah, this is free. That boost, I'm pretty sure, is up. What I would have loved to seen here, again, you got to recognize this is Champ 3. But great play here would have been, as this ball comes down, with the slight right side of your car probably, maybe front of your car, you get the touch on the ball, slight touch to get it rolling up the wall. You veer off, grab the boost, and then bam, you got 100 boost on a perfect aerial setup off the wall to try to get the 0-second Justin goal to equalize. I think that's what I would have been doing here, right? Bam, bam. Ooh, yeah, definitely. With the right side of your car here. play it at 10%. Bam, we're getting that touch on the right side. It rolls up the wall. We're grabbing the boost that is here. It's a replay bug that's not here. And then bam, we've got the space to make the aerial play and maybe get the 0-second equalizer. Don't be afraid. You know, you watch the replay analysis like this, and a lot of the time people will say you don't need the flashy aerial mechanics to win games, which you do not. However, sometimes that's the only option in the moment. Sometimes that is the best option in the moment. In this play here, that was certainly the best option in this moment. You got 5 seconds. You got to keep the ball in the air. You got to keep it off the ground. This touch invites the 50-50, and now it's a dead ball. Whereas if you had gotten it, taken it up the wall, go for that aerial play. You don't always have to, but they do have their utility. There are times where it is the best play. That would have been completely uncontested aerial play for you. But GG. Honestly, let's see. Repeated mistakes. Definitely the biggest thing that comes to mind is recoveries. Just general car control. You didn't say what division this was. You said Champ 3. Based on what I'm seeing, I would honestly assume Champ 3 Div 1. I would say that you're fresh into Champ 3, fresh out of Champ 2. Based on the mechanics I'm seeing. So just overall mechanics, car mechanics, especially car control, not so much ball control. Obviously, improving your ball control in the air and in the ground will help as well. But overall car control, movement around the field, recoveries, your half flips, your wave dashes, your speed flips, those are things you definitely need to work on. I've seen a lot of Champ 3 players have much better mechanics than you, I'm not going to lie. Much better mechanics in terms of fluid movement is what I mean by mechanics in that sense. Fluid, fast movement around the field. In terms of game sense, again, don't be afraid to utilize the aerial mechanics. Go for the aerial mechanics when they are a good play, when they are a good option. There are times where the aerial play is a good option. We saw it when you were in the opponent's corner and you didn't position to be able to make the aerial play if it was available, where you'd also be blocking his challenge if he was challenging. It seemed like you were scared to make the aerial play. And then again, at the end of the game there, like we just pointed out. And then at the very start of the game, you know, one aggressive challenge, aggressive shot attempt. But, you know, honestly, positionally, I think you looked, you know, rotationally and positioning around your teammate, you looked pretty good. I think you'll definitely, based on this analysis, I would say the number one thing you got to work on is your car control, and that'll probably help you out a lot. And then I would go back, take a look at where I was pausing and telling you how you could have played out certain situations better. Take note of them and try to consciously improve on those similar situations in your games going forward. Maybe one thing at a time. And yeah, you'll be on your way, man. You'll be on your way. Thank you for the submission. Thank you guys for watching. Again, read the description down below if you want to submit your own analysis, want to figure out how to do that, get one submitted. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you learned from it, what you're going to take away from this. Subscribe if you're new here. Check out the rest of the educational Rocket League content we got on the channel, designed to make you a better player, improve your game sense, even your mechanics. I got some mechanics tutorials on the channel. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.